This lecture covers aspects of project risk management. Topics examined are risk identification, risk analysis and prioritizing, risk management planning, and risk resolution and monitoring. Various contingencies could negatively impact a software project. When unplanned events take place, a project could be irreversibly damaged. Project managers must perform risk analysis to avoid these situations. Potentials that could impact projects are commonly referred to as risks. A risk analysis must be performed to reduce risk impact. As proposed by Barry Beam, risk management involves the following 6 activities. 1. Risk identification. 2. Risk analysis. 3. Risk prioritizing. 4. Risk management planning. 5. Risk resolution. And 6. Risk monitoring. Project risk can be divided into 2 classifications, universal risk and project-specific risk. Universal risk apply to all projects. Project-specific risk apply to individual projects. A list of the top 10 universal risks may be consulted when identifying project risk. During risk identification, universal and project-specific risks are identified. Project stakeholders are consulted, similar projects are reviewed, expert judgment and brainstorming are used to identify risk. Risk should be limited to those that are likely to happen and would result in a substantial loss to a project. The top 10 risks are personnel shortages, unrealistic schedules and budgets, developing the wrong functions and properties, developing the wrong user interface, gold plating, which is adding nice features that are not required, a continuing stream of requirements changes, shortfalls in externally furnished components, shortfalls in externally performed tasks, real-time performance shortfalls, and straining computer science capabilities. Management techniques for these risks can be found in the textbook in Figure 23.10. For instance, personnel shortages can be lessened by staffing with top talent, job matching, team building, key personnel agreements, and cross-training. Gold plating can be lessened by requirement scrubbing, prototyping, cost-benefit analysis, and designing to cost. Risk analysis concerns evaluating each risk by determining the extent of damage to the project if the risk occurs, deciding which option to take, and the cost to implement the option. Risk analysis involves concepts of loss probability, which is the estimated likelihood that a risk will occur, loss magnitude, the estimated damage in dollars if the risk occurred, and risk exposure, the estimated damage in dollars to the project, factoring in the probability that the risk will occur. Risk exposure is the loss probability multiplied by the loss magnitude. Risks are prioritized by their risk exposures. Tools to evaluate risk are decision trees and decision tables, which are equivalent tools. For each risk, a decision table or decision tree could be used to analyze options to lessen the risk. A corresponding decision table or decision tree should be created to analyze each risk. Rows of a decision table correspond to branches in a decision tree. A decision table is easy to construct and can exist in the form of a spreadsheet and used for future projects. The results can automatically be computed in a spreadsheet. 10 steps to create a decision tree for each risk are identifying mitigation options. For each option, identify possible outcomes. For each outcome, identify the loss probability, which is the estimated percent likelihood that the risk will occur. For each outcome, identify the loss magnitude, the estimated damage in dollars if the risk occurs. For each option, add a new branch to the root of a decision tree. Label each branch with the name of the option. For each possible outcome, add a new branch at the tip of the option branch. Label each new branch with a possible outcome name, its loss probability, and its loss magnitude. Calculate the risk exposure, which is the loss probability multiplied by the loss magnitude. Enter the risk exposure results in the risk exposure column. For each option, add risk exposure results to get the combined risk exposure. After analyzing the risks and prioritizing them by risk exposure, creating a risk management plan takes place. This is a plan to manage the top priority risks during the development process. First, strategies must be developed to address the risk items. Some of these strategies could be the risk management techniques that were discussed for the top 10 risks. Other techniques are expert opinions, project management experiences, and brainstorming. After identifying the strategies to manage each high priority risk, a risk management plan is developed. The plan specifies for each risk the objective, a schedule of activities to be performed, who will be responsible for performing the activities, and the resources to carry out the plan. Risk resolution is carrying out the activities to reduce risk specified in the risk management plan. Risk monitoring validates the risk reduction strategies per the plan. Not all of the risks should be reviewed, only the high priority risk and the ones that would cause the most damage if they occurred.